Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
After quitting my high-pressure job in the city, the only thing I truly wanted was quiet, solitude, a place where the incessant hum of deadlines and corporate jargon couldn't reach me. So, when I inherited a remote cabin from a distant great-aunt I barely remembered, it felt like fate. The place was nestled deep in the Catskills, surrounded by ancient pines and a silence so profound it almost felt like a presence. For the first few weeks, it was paradise. Just me, the chirping crickets, and the occasional visit from a curious deer. My only real tether to my old life was Philip. Philip and I had been inseparable since kindergarten, surviving awkward adolescence, college blunders, and the general absurdity of adulthood together. We'd call each other every few days, our conversations a familiar comfort, a touchstone in my new, isolated existence. The cabin itself was old, full of forgotten treasures and dust motes dancing in sunbeams. One rainy afternoon, driven by curiosity, I finally tackled the locked attic door. The hinges shrieked in protest as I forced it open. Cobwebs clung to everything, and the air was thick with the scent of aged wood and forgotten things. In the far corner, draped in a sheet that had long since become one with the grime, stood an antique gramophone. It was a beautiful, ornate piece, brass horns slightly dented, dark wood gleaming faintly beneath layers of dust. There were no records anywhere to be found, not even a spindle for them. It felt dormant. I cleaned it up, dragged it to the center of the attic, and left it there, an interesting relic. Weeks passed. The piece was glorious, but sometimes, late at night, I'd hear things. Faint, distorted whispers from the attic, a child's laugh, a mournful sigh. I dismissed it as the house settling, the wind, or just my imagination playing tricks in the quiet. Then, the little things started. I couldn't quite place the exact year Philip and I had backpacked through Europe, or the name of his first pet. Small details, easily attributed to stress or just getting older. I shrugged them off. But the sounds from the attic grew clearer, more defined. Still not music, but a cacophony of human sounds, scrambled like radio waves. Fragments of conversations, the clinking of glasses, a dog barking, a woman humming. They always seemed to coincide with moments of strange mental fog. I'd call Philip, and his voice, usually so familiar, would sound slightly off. I'd recount a memory, maybe our college graduation, and he'd correct me on a detail, or sometimes he wouldn't recall it quite the same way I did. A coldness, a subtle distance, began to creep into our calls, where before there had only been warmth. It was like watching a perfectly clear photograph slowly develop fuzzy edges. I noticed that the gramophone, nestled in the attic, seemed to hum faintly when these memory gaps occurred, a barely perceptible vibration that I could only feel when I was directly above it. I tried to move it, to drag it down from the attic and get rid of it, but it was impossibly heavy, anchored, almost as if its ornate feet had rooted themselves to the floorboards. A chilling thought, but I couldn't shake the feeling that it was feeding on something. I started to actively avoid the attic, but the sounds leaked through the floorboards. They were specific now. Snippets of my voice, Philip's voice, distorted arguments, laughter, even the sound of us singing off-key to a forgotten song. These weren't generic sounds. These were our memories being played back to me, warped and dying. I looked around the cabin and found objects that seemed to have no origin or connection to me. A strange ceramic owl on the mantelpiece. A faded painting of a lighthouse I'd never seen. Had they always been there? I couldn't say for certain anymore. Then came the call that broke me. I dialed Philip and the phone rang for an eternity. When it finally connected, a voice answered, distant and uncertain. "Who is this?" it asked. My heart slammed against my ribs. "Philip, it's Orson," I choked out. There was a pause. "Orson, I don't think we've met." He asked if I had the right number, politely, but without any hint of recognition. My world splintered. I rushed to the attic, my breath ragged. The gramophone was glowing faintly from its horn, a soft, pulsating amber light. From its mouth poured a torrent of garbled, agonizing sound, a symphony of our shared life, but broken, warped, dissolving into static. I saw reflections in the brass horn, distorted images of me and Philip, laughing, talking, arguing, then Philip's face twisting, fading into static, his features blurring until he was just a ghost. I screamed Philip's name, lunged at the gramophone, tried to pull it apart, to smash it, to silence it. but it felt impossibly strong, like bedrock, almost alive, resisting my every desperate effort. I collapsed, my lungs burning, tears streaming down my face. I tried to call Philip again, but the number was disconnected, or answered with a stranger's voice, not the one from before, but a genuinely unfamiliar one. I scrolled through my phone for old messages, photos. They were gone, or the faces were blurred, unrecognizable. I knew Philip existed, I knew he did, but the proof, the connection, the memory had been consumed. He was gone, not physically, but from my reality. I am utterly alone. The gramophone is silent now, waiting in the attic, but I feel it, always humming, a gaping, cold void growing within me. I keep checking my phone, hopping for a message, a sign he still remembers. But the silence is louder than any music, and I fear what part of me it will play next.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.